Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Anything Goes. My name's Andrew Dika, and today, proud to be joined by Louie O'Doherty, a man I've been there since the start of his career. I've seen him progress, seen him have his learning fights, and he looks really good. And he makes it fighting the journeyman an easy job, and it's a tough night in the office for them. Then he's gone on to win his Southern Area against Marley Mason via eighth round, Dr. Stoppage slash TKO. Then, most recently, I've seen him become English champion, defeating Yusuf Kamari to win the title. Now he's on his way on a big platform, Queensbury Promotions, The Zone. He's had his major press conference now. He's on the way to fight for a British, God willing, and the new. Louis, how are you, my man?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you. Yeah, no, like you said, you've been there literally from very early doors. So yeah, you've seen a lot of the progression and everything. So yeah, it's really good.
And I didn't know you were a West Ham fan when I met you. Now it's even better because we love our people and we love to support each other, and it's getting better from there. And I remember looking back on your page, you got pictures from Upton Park and obviously the new ground as well. Now, let's talk about it a little bit there, bro. So I don't want to go start of your career, but I'm gonna pick up from like Jeff Ofori because I do remember interviewing you there. I don't know if I caught you after, but talk about that Jeff Ofori outing.
Yeah, no, like yeah, that it was a good fight, like a proper scrap. And yeah, no, like obviously there's a few things that weren't great for me. Like I was a bit ill going into that fight, which is one thing I had a bit of a talk with my trainer about. You know, like he said, like, oh, we could pull out. I said, no, I don't want to do that. I said, like, you know, I'm push through it and stuff. And obviously, yeah, I did. It was a hard fight to have like that because you know the intensity of it. But you know, there was just you know like his head was on my chest the whole time, and I just had to try and sort of land my shots more than him, keep my guard really tight, and I think for the most part, you know, I was able to land more than he would land on me. A few times, I feel like I caught some better shots. But obviously, yeah, you know, he kept coming back. But I think I just done enough to actually get that win after watching it back. First, when after the fight, I was a little bit like, okay, I'm not sure. But after watching it, I was more confident that I did take that win.
I'll be very honest, when I was in the arena, I was a little bit maybe nervy just due to the opinions of others and what others were saying, but I was confident you had that. I was confident you've won that and then you push on to the next. But hearing promoters, hearing managers, hearing coaches, and people saying, oh, Jeff's got that, Jeff's got that. And do you think there was a lot of controversy after that because, or even on the night, because people believe it should have gone his way, it could have gone his way. But like you said, every time you go into a telephone booth war, it seems like, oh, it's just a war fight, but there's a lot more that goes into that. So how did you feel just before your hand was going to be raised? Do you feel like it was close? Do you feel like he could have had it, or you knew you'd done the job?
No, I certainly no. As I was in the ring after the fight, I thought it was close, and I thought that when I at the time, I thought it could go either way because I knew the sort of fight it was. So I did think it could go either way. And even when I won, you know, I wasn't particularly happy with my performance or anything like that. You know, I knew I'd done enough, but it was all mental toughness. There was no, but not as much boxing, not as much moving as I should have done. But then once I rewatched the fight, you know, I was a lot happier about what had happened after seeing everything. And actually, no, I was a bit happy with what I had actually done during the fight, even though I still could have done more other things. Having fighting his fight, I was quite confident with the fact that I did win the fight. And you know, like yeah, I'm going to expect. You know, I'm always going to try and push up. So yeah, he was a more experienced fighter. Um, but that's the whole point. You fight someone more experienced, you beat them. Okay, now you put the doubt away. I think the same doubt came in with the Kamari fight. We're thinking, oh, it's a big step up. Can he do it? And I've now done it again. So you kind of have to do that for people to sort of know who you are.
And then after the Afori fight, you had a little bit more learning fights. Obviously, went on a top tier show. Um, Great fight, a guy with an 18 and 18 record, so even record, not necessarily a journeyman. And then also you had Ramiro Garcia Lopez, tough Mexican, I believe. How did you find those two fights?
They were really good, and they were tough boys. You know, yeah, Ramiro Garcia. He was certainly bigger than me, quite naturally bigger than me. And I don't. I think there was a lot of things that I should have done that I showed some holes that I do have in my game that I had to improve on. And I think moving from that fight to the next one with Fernando Arce, I think that was a brilliant. That was a much better display for me of boxing. Um, but again, still certain things that I wanted to create better. Shots that I got caught with that I shouldn't have been caught with. And he did come out of a few bangs. He certainly did. Which like I had to think, okay, cool. I'm in a bit of a fight here. But they were good. They were good set up fights for the English title shot. They were good fights to have. I've never been given even journeyman, never been given an easy one. I've always had it quite tough with them, and that sort of built me up to where I am today.
I love to hear that, brother. And then you go on to the Yusuf Kamari fight. June 2025 from April 2025, you lost out in with Arce. And would you say it was short notice, or did you know you had that upon the cards? And yeah, talk about that there. Did you know you had that fight coming, or did it just come out of the blue?
Yeah, no, I did. So when it was vacant beforehand, that could have been an opportunity that we could have had. And there was not basically it just didn't end up falling into our hands, unfortunately. Which I would have fought Kamari earlier on for the vacant, but he fought someone else for the vacant. Had a great 6 round stoppage. I think it was 6 round stoppage. And in all fairness, that probably made it hard for me. He's coming in with good confidence, after a stoppage win. And yeah, the idea was, it could be potentially be a harder fight than it could have been the first time round. But I was still able to sort of do what I need to do, and basically throughout the fight try and break that confidence down.
And let's talk about it there. Obviously, as you mentioned, 18, 2-1 at the time, massive step up in majority of people's opinions. I believe every fight you've gone into, for example, your title fights, the Marley Mason fight, the Jeff Foury fight, the Kamari, now this fight, you're always seen as the underdog, but I think people need to start cashing out on you because they're winning money, aren't they?
Oh well, no, that's thing is with Kamari. I remember I got called up by my mum and my brother going, "Oh, my brother just found me on a betting site for that fight." And next thing you know, loads of my family, my mate, they all put loads of money on for me to win, and I didn't care. That didn't affect me. I like the way I looked at it. The work was done. At this point, this was I think the day of actually, and yeah, they all put and everyone. I was getting messages people, "Oh, cheers, put bet on you," and all few people made some money off that. So to be honest, that worked pretty well. And being the underdog means everyone got a bit out of it, so it was quite good. But yeah, like I guess if you're always pushing up, then you're always going to be an underdog. And then that's just the way it is. And then but to me, or let's say to my family, I'm never the underdog. They're like, well, you're going to win, no problem. So I'm never the underdog. So it's always to the more the outside view or any. To be fair, any good boxing analyst looking at records and the levels that we'd both fought at, yeah, Kamari was the fighter who you'd think would win. There's no doubt. But that's the whole point of my chance to be able to prove what I can really do, and just did exactly that really.
And do you think the 12 rounds favoured you going into your next fight? Because obviously, usually, I believe our English title's normally 10, but because it was an eliminator for the British, how did it feel going through your first 12 rounder? And is that like people say in work? Was that your work experience done moving on to this next fight?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's being thrown in the deep end, but I wasn't expecting it when they first did 12 rounds. When I first was told that, I thought, okay, that's new. I mean, I love rounds. Rounds suit me all day long. I like the mentality and the toughness that it has to bring out of people. And to be honest, like I wasn't getting. I like to know rounds in the corner. I do like to know what round it is. But my trainer Gordon, he wasn't telling me no rounds. He was just kept telling me. Like I asked him what round. He said it doesn't matter. Just do this, do that. And next thing you know, I thought I was going to the 10th round, and they've told us to both shake hands, and or to touch gloves. And I thought I'm in the 12th round. I thought it was the 10th. So to sort of fitness wise, that was no problem. And as soon as I knew it was a 12th, I sort of went in straight away, guns blazing. I didn't realize, I had the energy. I had the energy to do 12. And in all fairness, I think I enjoy it more. And if it becomes a difficult fight, for any reason, the more rounds for me, the better. It gives me more chance to break someone down as I know I'm fit and I'm mentally and physically.
And talk about it there. Obviously, as we mentioned before, the underdog. But now you got through him. Do you think people should stop doubting you, or do you want them? Because, in my opinion, like you said, people that know you, people who are your family, you're the favorite to them. But I think to others, you kind of seem like a dark horse in the division. You seem like West Ham. In all truth, it's
Yeah.
like you know how West Ham is, bro. So yeah, it's like some days are good, some days are bad. But I think always when the big occasions come, you show up.
Yeah, definitely. It's yeah. I mean, in this next fight, obviously, it's in Scotland, so I'm going to be the underdog there and then. There's no doubt about it. It's going to be all the Scottish fans, so I will be the underdog. So it's fine. I'm used to that. But I think from a lot of boxing analysts' point of view, now after beating Kamari, I think that's kind of paved the way, and people are going to have a bit less doubt now.
And I remember Spencer Oliver saying when he done a press conference for you when you fought Marley, he said, once you go past Southern area, and this is the first real test, this leads you on to English to British. And everyone has the aspiration to become world champion, but do you think it's come too soon? Or like I said, with you, you're 10-0, you've already got two titles, three title fights under you. There's a lot of fighters at your level now that have had 10 fights and they're still at learning fights. So do you think this has come too soon or you're ready for it?
Um, on paper, you could say it's come too soon, but the way that, like I said, the journeyman that I've been given through the matchmaking has always been tough. It's built me up really well. Obviously, I've got a good 58 amateur fight background, winning multiple titles, and I think that's worked perfectly for me. And yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, I don't feel like it's too early. I feel like I've dealt with each occasion as it's come and dealt with it well. So I'm quite happy to do it this early. If people call it early, it's whether I believe in myself, and I do. So I'm not worried by it.
Would you say out of your first 10 bouts, would you say the Kamari one your most impressive, or could it be the Mason or a Afori one?
No, yeah, Kamari's the most impressive one because I think he was the best boxer I've fought. Um, for me, to be honest, he's the one. He's the only one I'm proud of. With the other fights, like with Marley, we was both raw to a point. Um, Still, and with Jeff, I think he's good and he's very good. But anytime he's met someone with really who has pushed on and done really well. He has been beat, and obviously with my aspirations to push on and do well, I kind of expected. I think I have to beat him. With Kamari, I thought even the fights that he had lost, they were very close fights, and he's good and he's fit and there was not many there's not many holes in his game really. So I thought he's more a complete fighter, and to beat him to me meant more than any of the others.
And talk about his power. Did you ever feel hurt or rocked? And did you ever feel you rocked or dazed him?
No, I didn't feel hurt or rocked at any point. To be fair, the sort of fight it was, it become more of a numbers game, which is based on me. To be honest, I did that more by getting stuck in a bit. I didn't. No, I mean he could hit hard. Certainly could hit hard. I did feel some shots. Okay, yeah, good. Never rocked. I don't think I rocked him either. In all fairness, I think he handled it pretty well. I remember I landed some good shots. He gave me a little nod, and I thought, all right, cool. Yeah, he can handle it. So that's fair enough. But no, I don't think we was. I think he was very tough, and I know I can handle it too. So I think we was both in the same boat there.
And let's go on to it now. Regan Glackin up in Scotland. Is it Glasgow, right?
Yep, Glasgow, Braehead Arena.
Glasgow for the British title. Like you said, has it come too soon? Has it not come too soon? Everything's happened for a reason and everything's aligned with the fights you've gone through. So, again, probably on the betting odds and probably to the Scottish faithful, you will be the underdog on the night. But how do you see going into another contest? And every time you've been the underdog, you've come out on top. How do you see, what do you know about your opponent, Regan Glackin, and how do you see that fight going?
I mean, I haven't watched like a ton. In all fairness, I do let my trainer do that a lot of the time, and he'll just get me working things that he might think needs to be worked, or just building the weaknesses and strengths that we already do anyway. We always focus on me as an individual more than what I've got to do against one specific person. But 16-0, so he can't. He's definitely no mug. And I know I'm pretty sure I've been told that he's quite fit and strong, and and he likes to push. He likes to push the rounds well. So I know that'll create in like a good clash. By the sounds, it sounds like the styles are gonna clash quite well, which is good. Um, and obviously, I mean, I'm still confident. I'm still very very confident. Especially like, do you know what I mean? There's no reason I can't do the job. Like if I obviously always trying to fight my best. Every fight's a world title fight to me. So still gonna like train as hard as I can and try and put in the best performance possible. And my best performance, yeah, I should win.
And someone's always got to go. Is that going to be his?
Yeah, yeah, it has to be.
And so talk about it there. 16 and 0, obviously, three KOs. So he's got a great career. Like you said, he's fit, he's strong. How did it feel being on your first Queensbury press conference, major press conference? Any nerves? And what did you feel being up him face to face?
Um, yeah, no, yeah, it was brilliant. It's brilliant to have that, and no, I haven't been a part of like that size of promotion, so that was really cool. And obviously, let's say like we wasn't just like I wasn't just right on the end. I was like second for main event, so I was thought that was really cool, like a really good experience. Yeah, I was definitely nervous to have to talk. Like boxing, I'm used to, but the hands do the talking. So now having to sit there and wait to speak, yeah, certainly like was probably more nerve wracking than boxing, which obviously is where my experience lies. Um, and yeah, we had a little stare off, but like it was not very it wasn't really trying to push anything out of each other. We just had to stare off. We shook hands. Obviously, he's a very respectful guy, so there was nothing there in that side of things. But no, it's a great experience, and yeah, obviously, the more I do them, the more I get used to it, I guess.
And if you was to put a prediction, obviously 12 rounds for the British and the news, what you want to be hearing, and your hand raised on the night. Do you see how it's been always with the Euphoria, with the Masons, with the Kamaris? Do you see another 12 round war? Do you see an early stoppage here? What do you see here? Because not only do you have a game opponent, but like you said, he's got his Scottish faithful coming in. You're in the away corner. Take it as a European game. West Ham's going abroad. Let's say West Ham's going to Scotland here. You've beaten Fulham in London. Now you've got to go beat, let's say, Celtic or Rangers.
Yeah, yeah, no, look, United away, nothing wrong with that. I can, I've just got to handle it and do the job. I don't really have a prediction. I'll just whatever way works, whatever way I find to win, I'm gonna win. If I can get a stoppage, of course I'll get a stoppage. If it turns into a war, then I can do that as well. So whatever needs to be done.
And most fighters say this, and I know the feeling as well. Can you hear supporters when you're in the ring, or you don't hear anyone at all?
Um, I can if I want to,
Mm.
but I decide to block it out.
Could
So
you
I,
hear any of
I,
Yusuf's fans?
No, like again, I can. I'm quite good at if I want to hear it, then I can totally do it. But I kind of force myself to zone in. I force myself to keep that focus. But yeah, I can. I've heard things here and there, but I sort of purposely, just trying to take any actual words in.
Obviously, the British fans do it best. Obviously, when you go to Ireland or to Scotland, it's a bit more hectic. But do you think you'll get booed walking out, or do you just think, you know what, I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to take the British belt and walk back home, back to London, back to Essex?
No, look, yeah, it might be booed. It might be booed. That's absolutely fine. I guess that there is an expectation of that. But obviously, I'm bringing some fans. What I mean? I'm not going there empty-handed. So I should get some noise for myself as well. And just, do you know what I mean? Hopefully, they'll be quiet by the end of the fight.
And we always do see your green pocket in your core. How many green shirts can we see on fight night, and how many people do you expect to have up there and gain some new Scottish fans?
Yeah. I'd like to say I can get about 50 up there. I know it's a hard thing to do. But yeah, we'll definitely get about 50. Like me mum's booked like a couple houses or whatever, so people can have got somewhere to stay in that if they need it. And I know some people have booked their flights and stuff. So yeah, like if I can get about 50, that'd be good. And just 50, that'd be 50 loud people. So that's fine.
Before I let you go, obviously this takes more than a few minutes, but talk about West Ham last season. And obviously, I don't think I've caught up with you since we finished the end of 2024, but I know that's gone now. But what did you make of the Leverkusen game and the run we had in Europe?
God, man, I've been following very well. Not recently. That's why I'll get back into it. Um, Trying to think about last season now. Where did we finish? We finished low, didn't we?
14th, wasn't it? We finished above
Yeah, see,
United
that's
and
not.
Spurs.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's the thing. I know. Yeah, we see. We should be. We're capable of being in the top 10. I
Hmm.
generally like. We are capable of being in the top 10, but we're just not getting there. Like 13th, 14th. To me, that's our average season. You know, like we
Mm,
don't want to be. We don't want to be doing average all the time. Like, I
yeah.
think we can push above that. I think we're good enough team to be top 10. We are a good
Hmm.
enough team to be top 10. It's just we're not getting there. You know. But no, I haven't been following very well. But I am going to start. So I got my boy now. I've got to get him into it. So I'm going to start.
And will that be his first game this Saturday?
Yeah, that's his first game. Yeah,
That's cute. And oh yeah, and congratulations on the next one coming.
the next two, I got twin boys on the way.
Oh, twin boys! I never knew that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm in some
So
trouble.
are they going to go into calisthenics and gymnastics, or any of them going to go into boxing as well, or you're leaving that out?
Hopefully they're going to some gymnastics. Boxing is not the most fun game, but I just wasn't good enough at gymnastics. You know, I started too late. But yeah, I think it'd be nice to get into gymnastics. Um, but yeah, I mean they're going to be born before the fight, so I'm sure I'm going to have a bit of a wake up call there as well. They'll be born in September, so yeah, I'm certainly going to be in for it even before the fight.
And does it change your perspective before you were fighting as a father, and once you became a father, does it show that you've got more to fight for as well, inside and outside of the ring?
I think internally it does. I think it does light that fire a little bit. Like don't get me wrong, I always thought before that when I was training my hardest and everything, you know. So I don't think anything changes too much. But I think whether I can feel it, like I think subconsciously there's certainly something there, you know. Like obviously there is more in the training of because obviously my levels are being pushed and all the time, and I'm pushing myself further and you know being more dedicated. So yeah, I think it does. I think it does push you. To be fair,
And last two questions before I let you go. Where do West Ham finish next season?
I've got to be top 10. I reckon we can get realistic. Uh, let's go ninth. Let's just inside the top 10.
Let's go ninth. I love that, and I think there are two or three, if not four, squads that can compete for that European place. But I'd love seventh or above. But ninth, I'd take it off your hands. And final message to your fans. Final message to Regan Glackin. Final message for everyone that's tuning in live on the zone. We'll be there in the arena and supporting from home. To your family, to your faithful. What's your final message, and what's the message for fight night?
No, I'm just appreciate everyone coming. And you know it's gonna be an absolute good night, proper firework night. Obviously, it's gonna go on to so many other great nights, and you know I've got all the fans that are there regular. Like I know they're all going to be there again. So yeah, no, I really appreciate them. I think you need them as well. I think you definitely need them. So yeah, I just all the love and appreciation really.
Louie Doherty, the woman brand get home in the summer for England. Bring this home for East London and Essex. See you soon, brother. All the best in Scotland. Gonna get an away day win, and come on, you Irons.
Brilliant, thank you, man. Come on, you irons.
Love that. Thank you, my brother.